Backwoods Butcher's Chop Block topic of discussion live right here on No Fucks Given Radio. One of the biggest underground podcasts there is, people. So you guys go chime in and add the pages. Check out butchermedia.com. Check out nofucksgivenradio.com. You know what I'm saying? But today, people, we are going to be chopping it up with the topic of discussion. That's right, because later on in the week, we're going to have an interview with a profiler and as well as an author talking about serial killers. So right now, we are going to do a topic of discussion, and the topic of discussion is serial killers. That is right, people. If you've never read this book right here is none other than the A to Z Encyclopedia of Serial Killers. And the author is Harold Shankner. That's what I'm talking about, people. Got John Wayne Gacy on the front looking all fucking sad. He's like, damn it, I don't even get to fucking kill and rape no more kids. Fuck. He was a sick bastard, man. Pogo the Clown. I mean, yeah, John Wayne Gacy, he was an actual entertainer. You know what I'm saying? He entertained kids, at birthday parties, at special events. He was actually involved in his community. I mean, the guy did a bunch of shit, man, but he was very low-key about what he was about. You know what I'm saying? He hired young boys to help him do work and stuff like that, and he would end up killing them. You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, hey, come over and have a drink. You know what I'm saying? You get drunk, and then you end up getting tied up and butt-fucked and then killed, you know what I'm saying, stuffed in a basement. That's pretty fucked up, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, John Wayne Gacy was a very, very, very disturbed person. And in my opinion, he's not one of my favorite serial killers at all, honestly. But yeah, John Wayne Gacy was definitely a high-profile case in true crime. And he was definitely a icon in that scene. So, yeah, if you don't know who John Wayne Gacy is, go ahead and Google the fucking guy. You know what I mean? Like, he worked the gimmick Pogo the Clown at events. And he also killed over 32 fucking young boys, you know what I mean? So he's pretty fucked up. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the motherfucking man himself. The guy who inspired bunches and bunches of horror movies. He inspired the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He inspired a bunch of different shit. He goes by the name of Ed Gein. If you don't know who Ed Gein is, like I said, there's songs about him. There's Slayer's song called Dead Skin Mask that's talking about Ed Gein. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, he only killed 3 actual victims, Ed Gein did, you know what I'm saying? Like, his worst crimes were grave robbing. He would actually dig up the fucking corpses, and because he felt that he could actually relate to a dead corpse than the fucking motherfucker rapping in his ear. And he was also very disturbed. His cousin actually brought home some shrunken heads from the war, and actually that kind of put something in his mind, like, hey, these are actually really heads. He's like, fuck, I'm gonna collect my own shit. He's out there late at night digging fucking graves. You know what I'm saying? Like, he would cut people's faces off, and he would actually make all different types of stuff. Like, he had drinking in cereal bowls with skulls. He had fucking a nipple belt, straight up, man, I seen this. It was actually a bunch of nipples cut off, sewed together on a fucking belt. You know what I'm saying? So the guy was pretty disturbed, man. You know what I'm saying? And his mother passed away, and he ended up boarding up the fucking door and keeping her in that room until the fucking police was just like, what the fuck, Ed? Like, really? Really, Ed? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he was a very misunderstood individual, man. I think he could have been rehabilitated. Honestly, Ed Gein could have been rehabilitated if he had the proper guidance from a counselor or a therapist or something, you know what I mean? And I do believe, out of all the notorious serial killers, that Ed Gein would have been rehabilitated, honestly. Out of anybody who could have been saved, it would have been that fucking guy. Good old Ed, goddammit. But, yeah, man, there's other notorious serial killers out there. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, a serial killer, Charles Manson, was not a serial killer. So whoever the fuck misconstrues that all the time, he's not a fucking serial killer. All he did was get charged for dispensation. You know what I'm saying? You whisper into somebody's ear and they go kill that guy, and you're held accountable. I mean, the fucking president of the United States ain't even locked up, and that's what he did. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Charles Manson, he just passed away, R.I.P. I mean, I don't approve of the crimes and shit that he did, but you know what? You can't discard the fact that he is a known figure and an icon and an inspiration to a lot of fucked up people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, Charles Manson, he just passed away. In California. He was actually going to be paroled, but he didn't see that sunshine. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Like I said, I want to appreciate you guys for tuning in right here on the Chop Block topic of discussion. We are showcasing true crime and serial killers. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about another scary individual. He was known as the Night Stalker. You know what I'm saying? Good old Richard Ramirez. Crazy as fucking cat shit. He was a big hardcore death metal fan as well as rock and roll fan. He was hardcore into AC/DC. He was into a bunch of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? He would do some of the most horrific type fucking crimes. You know what I'm saying? He would beat you to fucking death with a club, end up fucking painting fucking finger paints with your blood on the walls. I mean, he was pretty fucking sick, man. And in the courtroom session when he was being sentenced, he actually carved a Baphomet into his hand in the courtroom and showed everybody. I mean, that's some pretty shocking shit compared to the crimes that he was doing, you know what I mean, other than that. But yeah, Richard Ramirez, he is, but definitely, man, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about some more people. Let's go ahead and talk about Richard Speck. If you don't know who Richard Speck is, go ahead and Google the fucking guy. This guy right here was fucking crazy as shit. He was born to raise hell. Only you true serial killer fans will get that one. But anyway, Richard Speck, he actually tied up a bunch of nurses that, back in the day, he intruded into somebody's house, and it was actually a house that had 8 to 9 different nurses that lived together. And what he did was he tied them up individually and killed them individually. And it was pretty fucked up, man. And what happened was he actually couldn't keep track of all the victims that he was killing. He had fucking 8 different chicks, you know what I'm saying, tied up. And what he would do is he'd go into the room, he would grab one of the girls and take them out of the room, do what he did, raped them and killed them or whatever, and then he would wash back up and go back into the room like nothing happened and then grab the other one. And then what happened was probably about the 6th or 7th girl, he thought he was fucking done by then, you know what I'm saying? Because one of the girls actually scooted into a closet and hid and actually fucking survived the night of terror, you know what I'm saying, by Richard Speck. And she was able to identify the motherfucker and convict him. You know what I'm saying? So that put Richard Speck away for fucking good. And then to talk about Richard Speck, when he got to prison, he switched his whole fucking entity up. You know what I'm saying? Richard Speck ended up getting fucking nipple implant, tit implants. He was end up being some guy's bitch. Like, it was fucking crazy. I seen an interview with Richard Speck. He was sitting on a guy's lap, smoking cigarettes with his fake boobs. I'm like, what the fuck happened to Richard Speck? Like, that's fucking nuts. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, I want to talk about another serial killer enthusiast who actually does a lot of cool fucking portraits and a lot of cool artistic things involving true crime. He is none other than Joe Coleman. If you don't know who Joe Coleman is, we can't be friends. You know what I'm saying? But nah, Joe Coleman is an actual big inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy does some of the most artistic and crazy fucking paintings of serial killers. He digs down deep into the world of their fucking life. Like, say, for instance, he did one of Carl Pandram. Carl Pandram was affiliated with the Navy. He did a lot of crazy shit and killed over 100 people. And he incorporated his life and all these bunch of different fucking detailed things about people. And he became famous. Like I said, if you don't know who Joe Coleman is, you guys go and Google that shit and check him out. He's fucking awesome. And he's very involved in the art communities pretty much everywhere all over the fucking world. So Joe Coleman, goddammit, he's the fucking man. But yeah, man, like I said, I appreciate everybody to tune in and chop it up. Does anybody else have a serial killer that they would like to talk about? Well, actually, since you guys are being muties, I'll go ahead and chime in. Let's go ahead and talk about Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was a pretty fucked up individual, you know what I mean? He had a lot of issues as a kid growing up. I mean, he had an actually ideal family, you know what I'm saying? There was nothing really wrong in his family. His dad didn't molest him or do anything fucked up to him, you know what I mean? But Jeffrey Dahmer, as a kid, he would actually go and collect animal bones off the road and shit. And what he would do is pour muriatic acid on the fucking animals and shit and keep the bones. And that kind of fucking, you know, deteriorated his mind. And it kind of fucking drove him on that path of exploration to the minds of getting to that point to commit murder. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. But yeah, there's so much shit about Jeffrey Dahmer. Like I said, he would go to gay clubs, and what he would do was he would actually drug the individual who he homed in on, his victim. He would actually buy them a drink, but little did they know that he was over here lacing this shit up with some fucking pills to knock him out. And most of the gay clubs in Milwaukee back then actually had rooms in the back that you can go fucking do all your weird crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And Jeffrey Dahmer capitalized on that, and he was just like, fuck yeah, they already fucking set up the fucking meat and the fucking chopping room. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he was doing some crazy shit, man. But yeah, later eventually he would take people home to his apartment and he would end up fucking tying them up, killing them, having sex with their corpses, chopping them up into pieces and eating them in different fucking stages. And, like I said, when he was arrested, he had fucking whole heads in the refrigerator. He had fucking whole torsos of fucking corpses inside of fucking acid barrels. He had refrigerators full of hands and fingers. Like, Jeffrey Dahmer was a crazy motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? But you know what? You know what? That's the only guy that I believe who had a little hint of remorse for what he did. I honestly do believe that. Like I said, I've been studying true crime for over 17 years. I've been a big fucking horror buff as well as true crime buff. And, like I said, man, he did have a little bit of remorse, you know what I'm saying? I do really believe that because once he got fucking caught, he actually, you know, it all hit him at once, you know what I'm saying? You're just like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? And then when you had to sit there at your trial and listen to the families come up and talk about how you fucking hurt them so much, how you took away their loved ones, how they can never ever get that feeling back. And just like it does something to you. I can put myself in people's shoes like that. I'm very good at doing that, so I can understand. And it's just, like I said, man, I do believe he had a little bit of remorse. And that right there was Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, he was very, very, very deranged. But yeah, like I said, man, fucking I appreciate you guys for tuning in right here on a chop block topic of discussion. We are showcasing nothing but serial killers today. That's right, people. But yeah, and other than that, let's go ahead and talk about the Green River Killer. Gary Leon Ridgway. That was an individual who was very fucked up as well, who thought he was doing a good deed for society. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was hurt by women in his life. His mother was very weird with him. I think they did some, like, I don't know, you know, those videos, like, I guess it was, Red Dragon, where the mother was being really fucking, just very, demoralizing and very fucking just mean to the kid. Like, you better wash your penis or I'm gonna cut it off. I'm gonna cut it off. So I believe that Gary Leon Ridgway dealt with some shit like that in his life and it kind of made him fucked up. And his ex-wife cheated on him and, you know what I mean? So in his mind, all girls are whores. I'm gonna kill them all. You know what I'm saying? So Gary Leon Ridgway, the Green River Killer, did an extensive amount of murder throughout his career as a serial killer. You know what I'm saying? So what he would do is he would go on the boulevards, he would actually stroll, and he would actually pick up hookers, and he would actually show them, like, hey, look, I'm a family man, girl, like, I got fucking kids and everything, get in my car, I'm just gonna do our thing and you can go on. Little did they know that motherfucker was a conniving, fucking crazy, sadistic, lunatic motherfucker. And what happened was, when they would get in the car, he would like to have sex out in the open. He liked to go to the Green River, and he would love to have sex outside in the grass. And the way he would do it was he would always actually, like I said, I know in depth detail about his crimes. So what he would do is he would tell the girl to go doggy style. So when the girl flipped over for him to change up, he would sneak around and grab them and choke them out and strangle them. And then he would do all types of weird shit to them. Like, I remember reading one case where he shoved rocks inside of the vaginal area. There was ones where he did like this, weird thing. He tried to throw police off, actually. When he killed this girl, he put like a whole bunch of sacrificial stuff on him to make it look like it was somebody else. So the MO wasn't actually picked up on. They thought it was just another fucking serial killer doing shit. So he actually had an idea of how he was getting away, and he actually eluded police for a very long time. He was just like the BTK killer, Dennis Rader. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know who fucking Dennis Rader is, he was the BTK killer. You know what I'm saying? He would bind, torture, and kill his victims. And me personally, I'm not going to give too much light on BTK because he killed children and shit like that, kind of like Albert Fish. I don't want to talk about that fucking guy. Yeah, he was a cannibal, he did shit. But you kill kids, man, you're out of my fucking book. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? There's true crime where it's tolerable to an extent. You know what I'm saying? But when you fucking start killing kids and eating kids, bro, that's beyond, like I said, man, Andre Chikatilo was another one. Andre Chikatilo was the man beast. He would actually lure people from train tracks because over there where he was from was very poor, and a lot of people would actually follow the train tracks to get to where they were going. And of course, you had good old Andre Chikatilo had his nice little camp set up for all the people when they walked by. Oh, he's got food over here. He's got water and shit. I'm gonna go chop it up with him. And that was his fucking fish hook. You know what I'm saying? Andre Chikatilo. What he would do is he would lure you to his camp, he would fucking beat your brains in, and he would cut you up into pieces, and he would fucking eat you. You know what I'm saying? Andre Chikatilo was a very, very crazy motherfucker. And like I said, one of his favorite things to do was boil people's balls. You know what I'm saying? Fucking good old Rocky Mountain oysters straight from the tap. You know what I'm saying? Like, this motherfucker was on one. And that is, at his trial, actually, he was pleading for his life because actually the fucking Japanese government wanted to buy his brain. They wanted to buy the motherfucker's brain, straight up, to fucking study it, to see why he did the things he did. And, but yeah, that was his last words, actually, before the fucking Japanese, police officer took him outside of the courthouse, put him on his knees, put the gun in his fucking back of his head and went, pop! Before that happened, he said, "Don't blow out my brain. The Japanese wants to buy it." And that was Andre Chikatilo's last words. Okay, speaking of last words, I guess let's see if we can go down the line if I can remember it just off the top of my head. John Wayne Gacy's last words were, "Kiss my ass." That's what he said. Carl Panzram, he said, "I could have killed 100 men before you flipped that switch." And that's pretty fucking true, man. Carl Panzram was a fucked up individual as well. But, yeah, like I said, man, I appreciate you guys for coming to tune in and chop it up right here on the Chop Block topic of discussion for No Fucks Given Radio. But like I said, man, fucking, I appreciate you guys. Let's go ahead and talk about another serial killer. This right here, my friends, is none other than David Berkowitz. He was labeled the Son of Sam. And I am very familiar with the Son of Sam. I remember his story and reading about it when I was probably like 15 years old. It was a guy, a.k.a. the Lover's Lane Maniac, the 44 caliber killer is his other nicknames. But he actually heard voices. And he heard his dog would actually talk to him. It was a black Labrador who would actually talk to him and tell him if he didn't go out and fucking kill people, that the world was gonna come to an end. So you can just imagine the mind state of a motherfucker like that, looking at his fucking dog going, I gotta go kill people or the world's gonna end. So, you know what I mean? That's pretty fucked up, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, you have to understand the mental state of these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that if these are discovered and treated properly, we wouldn't have a serial killer. You know what I'm saying? Be a hedonistic serial killer. Just kill people in your mind. Just look at people and be like, yeah, that fucker's face is getting peeled off and he's getting butt fucked with a chainsaw. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, don't go actually do this shit, man. Like, you want to spend your life in prison? I mean, you better have an idea of what you're doing, bro. You're into murder, there's prison involved. Or death. But anyway, like I said, man, I appreciate you guys for coming to chop it up with me right here on the topic of discussion. We are showcasing nothing but serial killers today. Okay, let's go ahead and hop into one of the most iconic figures in the serial killing world. None other than Theodore Robert Bundy, Ted Bundy. You know what I'm saying? That guy was the most charismatic person. He was very charming. He was actually a very sweet and humbled individual, man, and very, very fucking intelligent. And that's what lured his victims to him, man. Like, he didn't have to do shit. I mean, he put a cast on his arm and pretended that he needed help and shit. And of course, people were there to help. You know what I'm saying? And I remember one case, what he would do is he actually have a cast on his arm, and he would have the crowbar inside of his arm. So basically, he would have his books in his arm and act like he's carrying them to his car. He would fucking drop them, and he would ask for some help. Like, he can't pick them up. He's got fucking one hand, of course. Like, I mean, come on, who's not gonna help this guy? You know what I mean? He's fucking very charming. He's handsome. You know what I'm saying? So all the chicks fucking went right into their death trap. You know what I mean? So it was kind of fucked up. But anyway, the chicks would help him get his books, and he'd be like, yeah, just throw them right there in my fucking front seat. He'd wait till that chick to bend down. He'd pull out that fucking crowbar out of his cash and bink! Shove him in the fucking Volkswagen Bug and haul ass to the fucking woods. And he would do all types of weird sick shit. Like, he got into necrophilia, at the end of his, little spree there after he got caught. But yeah, that was another individual, myself, that, he kind of lost my respect when he killed that little 12-year-old girl in Florida at the end of his, reign before he got caught. But Theodore Robert Bundy, that man was electrocuted, in Florida, in Tallahassee. But anyway, like I said, man, we are showcasing nothing but serial killers today. So I'm pretty sure we done, got the icing and a little bit of the cake on the topics of serial killers. So I just want to say thank you very much for tuning in right here on the Chop Block session of the topic of discussion. I am your host, Juggalo Ninja Deathmatch Legend Carnage, right here on No Fucks Given Radio. That's right, kids. So go check out butchermedia.com. Check out NoFucksGivenRadio.com. Go check out bestgore.com to find all your sick and twisted videos. And check out the fucking execution section. That's right, baby. Much love and respect from everybody here at O2K Music Studios. I am your host, Carnage, the Juggalo Ninja Deathmatch Legend. See you tomorrow.